There we go. So I'm being lazy today and not using my nicer camera because it's a real pain in the butt to actually set up, whereas I can just be lazy here and just throw shit up on YouTube when I'm done. So it's been a little while since I had an update. A lot of that is just because I wanted till I had like significant progress to talk about. A lot has changed. Apparently, the last time I made a video was like 3 months ago. So I guess the most significant thing that's happened since then is that like I'm consistently under 200 pounds now. I'm in Wonderland. Wonderland. So I'm weighing like 197-ish most mornings right now. So that's nice. It's nice to like consistently. It was also nice that like once I got below 200, I was pretty consistently staying below that. So I didn't have to like see it once and then just like wait for another 3 weeks to see it again. So part of the reason for that, and another reason I didn't make an update for a while, is because I was having some stomach issues, and I finally went and bit the bullet and got an endoscopy and colonoscopy. Unfortunately, doing all the prep for that just kind of screwed up my stomach more. So, because you had to take some like really acidic laxatives to do that. But it's starting to mend itself. But I haven't been tracking for a few weeks, mostly just because I was like, I'm not really able to eat that much anyways without getting nauseous. So like, what's the point? And I wasn't able to like meet my protein goals realistically with how my stomach was feeling. So I was like, I'm just not gonna bother for a while. So I figured out kind of what the main issues with my stomach were. I had a hemorrhoid further down, which was a constipation problem. But then I have a what's it called? It's a hernia. It's the hernia that's at the top of your stomach, where your top of your stomach like bulges through your diaphragm. So it's not that big. So the doctor said he didn't want to like do surgery or anything on it, and he's like, well, usually the problems associated with them is resolve in weight loss. So he's like, I recommend you lose weight. I was like, well, cool. I've already lost 30 pounds. So like, I'm working on it. And he was like, cool. And I was like, cool. So it's funny though, because talking to the doctors, I was like telling him, it's like, yeah, I work out like X times a week. I do fencing, and recently we had been doing fencing followed by wrestling. So I would go out and do fencing for like an hour and a half, and then do another hour of wrestling. So it was like my Mondays and Tuesdays were pretty extensive interval style training. So I was like, I don't think I need to do more in that regard. I'm mostly just I'm just trying to work out enough to where I'm able to eat enough to get enough protein and still lose weight, because I started lifting weights. So like, it kind of defeat the point if I didn't get enough protein, because then I can't build any muscle. But yeah, my arm muscles are not as big as they look. This is all fat, so don't worry about it. I have like no chest muscles, and my squat is like 50 pounds. So I didn't even start squatting the bar until like a month ago. So not that impressive. So yeah, I'm doing all that. So I'm really glad to be back down below 200 pounds. I hope that I'm never over 200 pounds again, or I should just say, I will never be over 200 pounds again. How about just making it an ultimatum? As far as, I can't control bloating and things like that. Especially right now. It was funny because I tend to retain water right before my period. And like, I could tell I was retaining water the other day. And I looked at my stomach, and my stomach was like all dimpled. And I was like, it's like my fat is all swollen with water. And I was like, ugh. And then I peed like 2 pounds worth of fluid, and then my stomach was flat, was like not flat but smooth again. And I was like, bodies are wild, man. So yeah, I can't pay attention to stuff like that. So hopefully I'll be down in a few more pounds the next few weeks. But I haven't decided yet really how. Well, I want to go back to tracking, but I want to wait till my stomach is like 100% better. So just because I kind of I think I made myself get kind of like recently I've been very, very sleepy, and I think that was like a delayed after effect of not being able to eat enough, where my body's just like, well, if you won't give us enough calories, we'll just not let you move and function. And I was like, cool, but you're the one that wouldn't let me eat in the first place, so it's on you. So yeah, I'm working on just like trying to eat a little more food. I say this as I should eat again sometime soon, but I can't eat too much at once because then I'll just get sick. So I have to. It's really hard to get like the fruits and vegetables because you really just have to kind of space things out and hope you don't eat too much. But I'm working on it. So yeah, one of the things that has been revolutionary lately is that my clothes are, aside from most of them just being too big now, they're all like really worn out too. And I was like starting to look at some professional things, and I was like, I don't have like any dress clothes or even business casual. And even for the casual settings, I was like, my t-shirts really suck. And they're ratty and they look like bags on my body now. So I started to buy new clothes, like this very extra medium shirt. It's just a plain shirt, but like I can wear this to work without it being a deal. So yeah, I started shopping for clothes, and one of the funny things is like, I mean, when I was in college, I was like 180, 185 pounds most of the time. Lowest was like I was like 172 for part of freshman year. So I was considerably lower than I was now. I was still overweight though. But I think I just like have gotten less self-conscious about it. Like, oh no, people can see I'm fat. But I feel like I'm starting to realize it's like, oh, I think I always have bought clothes that were too big just to like kind of hide my body, and now I'm like, okay, take the size you say that, oh, it fits, and then go one size smaller, and like that's what actually fits. So that's the reasoning behind like the extra medium shirt and stuff like that, where I'm just like, okay, Aaron, but like it's mostly with the shirts. So the pants, like they either fit or they don't for the most part, but even then I've had to be careful because I'll get the size and it's like, oh, it's a size 16, and it's like it feels okay, but I'm like, okay, but you actually need to try the smaller size at least. And sometimes the smaller size is right. But the other thing I've noticed is, like, definitely in the past 10 years, since the last, like, I was in college and stuff, I'm pretty sure that they have made clothes sizes substantially larger, because I'm like, this isn't just me, because I was smaller back then. Not like, I think I'm a little bit more muscular now, so I probably wasn't substantially smaller when I was, like, 10 pounds lighter, but I'm picking up smaller sizes now than I was back then, and I'm like, I was talking to my sister about it. I was like, yeah, I went to Banana Republic, and I tried on like, I picked up an extra large and a large like button-up suit shirt, like just a white shirt with a collar, and I was like, so I tried on the large first because I was like, well, you know, I should try the smaller one first to see. And I tried it on, and like the arms were kind of tight because I do have big arms, but like, but the chest was kind of weird. Like it had like extra material right here, but the front was still like could still kind of pull apart. I think it was just because of my arms being tight. And so they were like, this was like late. It was the store was gonna close in like 30 minutes. But there were like these other middle-aged women that were there, and I was like, I need a second opinion. I was like, do you think I should try a smaller size than this? Because you see it's tight in the shirt and the arms, but it has like this extra material here, and I'm just like, I don't know what I look like. So they were like, yeah, you should try a smaller size. So I did that, and I showed it, and they were like, oh yeah, that looks better. I was like, this is a medium. Like, even, okay, I'm 5'8". Like, I shouldn't be a medium anyways, like, even if I'm pretty normal weight, because like, I don't have a medium-sized torso for a woman. A medium-sized torso for a woman is, like, in America, it's still, like, at least a 5'4", 5'5" woman. Like, the average height is technically, like, 5'4". And, I mean, obviously, things are more complicated than that, but I'm like, I do not have such a small frame that when I'm still technically obese, I wear a medium. Like, I'm only like 2 pounds away from being considered not obese anymore, so that's nice. That's the other nice development. But like, dude, I'm not a medium. And I was talking to my sister about, I was like, yeah, I picked up a medium in this shirt, especially for a button-up that's not stretch. And she's like, yeah, they have like vanity sizing. I was like, I thought Banana Republic was like someplace skinny bitches when like, I gotta go to Express now, so I feel like I find actual sizes. Like, I should still be wearing XLs. Like, that's just ridiculous. And I was like, they're making clothes for, like, and it's funny because people still complain all the time about like, oh, they don't make clothes for like fat people. I'm like, yeah, like how fat are you? Because now I'm obese and tall, and I can still wear all these clothes. So like, yeah. And it's funny too because the place that I went, there's a like an outdoor, I don't know what you would call it. It's like a shopping center, but it's built like an outdoor shopping mall. It's in North Austin. It's called the Domain. But the whole area is larger than that. There's like the Domain and the Arboretum, and they're both these shopping centers, but they also have like hotels and offices associated with it. They're like these capitalism complexes, essentially. And so I went there to shop, and I was like, almost never go here because it's outside and it's fucking hot, and like I already get hot shopping, and also it's just like I don't like to shop that much. It's a bit more enjoyable now that like I'm back to straight sizes essentially. Like the pants are still weird because I wear like a 16, but apparently a 16 is more like a 14 to an 18 now. I don't know, man. But, oh my goodness. I think I wore like, the smallest I've ever worn at this height is like a size 12, so. But yeah, no, it's just, I don't like to, it's just like too big, it's too spread out, the parking is really fucking confusing, because like half of it's reserved, because there's like apartments attached to all this shopping, anyways, I won't bitch about it too much, like, I found that I did like, they do have like a nice selection of shops, so at least that's nice. But they have a Torrid there, and I was like, I forget that Torrid has actual stores, because I thought it was just until recently I thought that they only really had stores in the UK, and it was like only online in the US, kind of like how Uniqlo is with it doesn't have that much stores, but we have a store in the Domain. We probably have more stores downtown if we have one in the Domain. But I was like, oh my god, there's a Torrid. So I was curious, and I was like I was just trying to find one of these white button downs at the time. So I went in and I was like, asked them, and they were like, looked at me like I was an alien first. And I was like, I know that Torrid isn't like, they go up to like 6XL or whatever essentially, where I don't think they even call them XL, they just call it like a 6. And the 6XL is like huge. And I was like, look, I know I'm not 6XL, but I thought you guys went down at least to like size 12, so like I shouldn't be that much of an alien here. But then I looked at their clothes and I was like, oh, this is your friendly neighborhood Saks store, because it's the same kind of shit like my mom would try to buy me in high school, where it's just like, oh, I don't recognize that you have a figure, so I'm just gonna buy things that drape over your body, which honestly they always make you look fatter, because if you have big boobs, because it just like bows out after your boobs rather than like show your waistline. Like you can see with this t-shirt, I have a waist, like it's not just bleh. Sorry, I'm sweaty because I've been doing chores, and also I'm fat. But like if you get these clothes, it just like it looks like it makes you look middle-aged, or like you're pregnant, or just like you don't give a shit. But like I was looking and I was like, oh, I thought, I didn't say this, but I was like, man, I thought since it was like a dedicated plus size store, they would actually try to make things that like fit plus size people. But like, I guess the truth is, once you get up to like, if you're making clothes for 3XL plus, like it just has to be bags. Like, because even if you do have some semblance of a figure, if you're getting to like 300, 400 pounds, which you probably don't, because you just stop having a figure. Like, it's just going to be rolls of fat. But also, everyone that's like that heavy, they have all different sorts of configurations of their fat too. So it's like nothing fits anybody unless it's just a sack, which is like sad to say, but that's how it was when I was getting up to 230, 240. Like, I stopped having a waistline. I just had big boobs and a big stomach and big thighs and still no calves. So I was like looking at Torrid, and I'm like, this is just the reality of like truly plus size. Not even like, it's not curvy. There's no curvy. It's just Saks. And I was like, that's really sad. I feel like that motivated me going that in that store motivated me even more to like try to bring my size down when I wore. I was like, I want people to see that I have like an actual body. I don't want to hide it anymore. I guess that's something that's changed between now and like my early 20s. But I guess I'm just like, oh, everybody's. I don't know. Maybe it's because like I look around like, oh, everybody's fat. So, as long as I don't like wear something that just cinches me like an absolute sausage, I should probably wear it so you can tell I have like a physical form. But anyways, the shopping experience has been really enlightening as far as like how people are changing their sizes. I knew like it was one thing because I would go to Old Navy a lot to get pants when I got fatter, and it's like their pants still like don't really fit me, but they go up to like size 22 in the store. So I would get like 18s, 20s at my heaviest. I was getting like 20s and 22s, and now I'm back to like a 16, which is funny because the 16 at Old Navy is I don't know. But the sizes at Old Navy are huge. Like, I would definitely be getting, like, medium shirts there right now if I went back to shop there. But it's like, dude, I'm not a medium. It shouldn't be a medium. Like, I guess the problem is that they don't want to, I was like, just turn into Torrid and make, like, 3XL, 4XL so that your straight sizes can still be, like, regular-ass sizes. Because, like, especially if you keep sizing up the clothes, like, what are the 4'11" tiny little girls gonna wear? It's just like they're also just gonna have to wear sacks, or they're gonna have to wear children's clothes. Is the honest answer, which is just like rude. But yeah, I don't know. It's very strange to me. I'm a very practical person, and I'm like, I don't need to have vanity sizes telling me it's like, oh, you're really medium. I was like, I mean, not really. I shouldn't be a medium. Like, just acknowledge that people are getting fatter and just make the fatter sizes. Don't, like, the excess is not going to be, like, a normal, like, a 5'8" person, 5'8" woman shouldn't be able to wear an extra small. That just doesn't make any fucking sense. But yeah. But it feels like that's going to be the case when I get down to like, if I get down to like if I ever got down to like 150, which I probably wouldn't want to anyways, but I have no idea what that would look like on me. But like, because my goal is like 160. But if I was 150, I was like, I'm going to be wearing excess at these places. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. And even my sister, like, she specifically told me, she's like, oh, I don't like people to see like my chest and everything. So she wears like larges and XLs, and she's 5'9". And that hides her form. And I was like, really? So, and that doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, that's just me complaining about, I'm like complaining about sizes in the opposite direction of every other fat person, where I'm just like, just accept that, like, take the Torrid sizes. At least it's true to say that you're like 3X or 4X or 5X or 6X, whatever. Just like, don't expect that just XL is going to fit you, because you're not just XL if your BMI is like 70. So I was like, no. But anyways, that's just me complaining about, like, I mean, it's so American that like 60-70% of people are overweight, that it's, but I'm like, I'm obese. I'm not even in the 60%. Like, I'm in the smaller 30-ish 40%, and I'm like falling straight in the middle on straight sizes. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't get it. I don't know how to say it. Stop back patting fat people for being fat. It's like, stop lying about everything. Anyways, this was further with me ranting with my friend the other night, where she's not really small. She's like 5'4", and she started lifting a couple years ago, and she's gotten pretty muscular especially for someone that's like 5'4". So she's not like really small, and she's allowed herself to have like a little bit more body fat than she used to. But she's not like fat by any means, and I've never seen her fat by any means. And she never has, from what I've talked to her, she's never been like really overweight or obese her entire life. So like, she doesn't have the same experiences as I had growing up as far as like dealing with the clothes and everything that just straight don't fit. But she does have like a more hourglass figure, and that has the same issues in fashion. Besides people saying like, oh, that's what everybody goes for. I was like, really, the clothes are made for like kind of straight up and down bodies more often. If you actually go clothes shopping at like regular size stores, they're not really made for people with boobs and hips, to be quite frank. Even though the sizing charts say they imply that they do, they're really not. But yeah, I was ranting with her about stuff, and I'm just like, I just like am so over, as a person that was like 240 pounds basically, I was like, I'm so over all the marketing toward like, I see it a lot on Facebook, and the funny thing about Facebook is like on the ads they have the people's comments, so you get to see like how lost in the sauce people are. Like there was like an ad for a waist trainer that said, and they're basically replying to people, it's like, oh yeah, it makes you sweat, which helps you lose weight. It doesn't help you lose weight. And I was like, I mean, not appreciably does it help you burn calories. And I was like, no, it's just gonna make you sweaty, and then you have to drink back the water, and you just be dehydrated and gross. So it doesn't do anything. But it was funny because they're like, it's like, this is gonna actually train your waist to give you an hourglass figure. I'm like, first of all, if you don't have the genetics for an hourglass figure, you're just not going to have an hourglass figure. Like, I don't have an hourglass figure. I have more of like I guess you'd say like a pear shape, probably. And my sister is like more trapezoidal. Like, we're just completely different. There's no like hourglass shape in our family. And so I'm like, yeah, it's just genetics where you store fat, and where you also like which of your muscles actually increase in volume when you train them as well, because like not everybody can train their glutes to be a perfect round bottom. Like, this just, you could train all day and just those muscle fibers don't actually get more voluminous if you don't have the genetics for that, or unless you just like inject steroids straight into it. But I was like, how do you actually think like this is just like wearing a corset? The only thing that you're going to actually move around eventually is probably your fucking organs, which, like, do you want that? You're already putting a lot of stress on your organs. And I was like, I just want to scream at these people. I was like, just, especially when these people are like substantially fatter than me, like sometimes they have better figures because they do have like that more hourglass shape, and I'm like, better figures. But like, I was like, you're like, still BMI is probably pretty close to 40, if not over 40 for a lot of these people. I was like, you really need to be concerned less with the hourglass shape and the fact that like you're gonna have a heart attack and die. That's just how it is. I'm like, but there's all these things marketed towards, you know, my fellow fat people that are like all these ways to make you attractive without just like saying it's like losing weight, actually losing weight, like actually just diet and exercise. Because unless it's, I mean, you see like hack exercise products getting marketed all the time, but they're mostly marketed towards like people that are already training but just are kind of stupid with training and are trying to get all the gimmick stuff. They're not, like, sometimes they're marketed towards fat people, but it's all stuff that like doesn't require you to actually change your habits. It's like, here, take this cleanse, or here, like, buy this keto subscription service with like, that could help you lose weight. But it's like, they don't even really market it that way a lot of the times because they're too afraid to say it. It's like, hey, we're a diet. It's a diet. But it's like, it doesn't help you change your habits if you're just always having, you would have to be on the service forever. It's like Jenny Craig or Nutrisystem. It's like, it's usually not enough food because it's expensive to send you more food too, is one of the things where I don't think people talk about that. But like, it's all these just marketing ploys where they sell things to you because they're easy, but they can't sell you just change your habits because they don't have anything to sell you. And that's difficult, so it doesn't market very well anyways. So it's like, seeing all the marketing, and especially like so much of the fat positive community is just like different ways of marketing too. Like, you can literally go and see the seminars that these people are putting on for like fat positive seminar. Give me your $600 please to for $600 I'll tell you you're beautiful all day. I was like, yeah, I could do that too. I could, you know, whatever you want to fucking hear, I can tell you for $600. It's just so stupid. It's like, just take care of yourself and stop listening to marketing bullshit. And stop listening to what you want to hear and actually take care of your health, because by the time you're 50 and you start realizing that your body is fucked up, you're already, you've made it so much harder for yourself. I can say from like all my family that has gone through this, I'm like, just do it now while you're young. It's so much easier. Like, your metabolism is faster now too, and it's so much easier to exercise when all your joints aren't fucked to shit. I say that as a person whose back is fucked to shit. I just took muscle relaxers for my back too, because I've got like, my muscles have, my back has gotten a lot better, but sometimes just particular muscle in my bottom right back will be like, I don't feel very good. So it's not actually injured, but it just spasms. So that's fun. Anyways, that has been my ranting. My non, I don't want to even use the word politically correct, because people are just like, yeah, I'm not politically correct. It's just like a conservative dog whistle. But it's like my not nice ranting about marketing towards obese people, just making them feel better instead of telling them, hey, it's actually hard work to take care of your health, but it's better than dying at age 60 or 50, depending on how fucking fat you are. It could be age 30 if you're extremely morbidly obese. So have fun with that. Saying as a person that had cousins die at like 400 pounds and 50 years old. So it happens. You think they had, and you think their quality of life was good before they died? You think that even those last 20 years of their life had any semblance of quality aside from just eating more food? Like, you can't go anywhere, you can't go on a hike, you can't you can't fence with your friends, you can't do any of that shit. You just lose the ability. So I don't get it at all. Anyways, that's me saying that now. I've got like, realistically, it's probably more like 40 plus, a little over 40 plus pounds, but my goal is actually 160, and I'm about 37 pounds from that. But like I said, I have no idea what that looks like. I've never not been overweight as an adult, so I don't know what 160 pounds would look like, especially because I'm more muscular than I was when I was like in the 170s. But I mean, I am female with female hormones and female parts, so I do not get absurdly huge muscles. So I don't think it's gonna be that different. But I don't want to look skinny fat. I want to look beefy. So it might be closer to 150 pounds. We'll just see. I'm gonna keep lifting. It'll probably take like, I'll probably be getting close to my goal like May of next year, because it's been really slow. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, but everybody's like, oh yeah, slow and steady, slow and steady. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of frustrating because you're in this in-between space, and it's mostly frustrating with the clothes, where you're like, do I buy clothes and then just have to buy more, 6 months from now? That's another reason I'm kind of buying smaller clothes. I was like, these might not fit perfectly when I weigh less, but they won't look absurd, at least. I don't know. Anyways, I've been ranting for 30 minutes. I should go back and finish my chores. And I'm going to go clothes shopping again, because I just need I need clothes. I don't have any. I've just been as I go through my clothes, I've just occasionally been looking at them and being like, okay, it's time for this one to go in the trash, or for this one to be donated. Just, I don't donate my underwear or something that's completely torn to shit. So, yeah, a lot of my stuff is no longer donation suitable. So yeah, that's my 30-minute rant. And my celebration of being under 200 pounds, shortly not to be BMI-wise obese. Probably still considered obese by, for some reason the actual cutoff is weird if you look at body fat percentage, because they have like normal obese. There's like no overweight category, so I'd still be obese in that respect, but like, no, doctor cares about BMI, so that's cool for me. All right, later.